Hey, welcome back to my channel, and this time is going to be an amazing beginner mini project in React hooks for React hook beginners. This is called the quiz app, and this will explain the basic concepts of React hooks for those who are trying to struggle learning these concepts. If you want to learn the concepts easily, do watch until the end and do not forget to smash that subscribe button. Okay, so first and foremost, you have to import React, and you have to import the useState hook from the React. Why? Because it lets us keep the local state in a function component. Yeah, and as usual, we import React DOM also from React DOM. This is the basics of React, as you already know. And then we add the React libraries as usual, the React DOM, the React libraries. All that is done in order to start the React, initiate the React app. So first we start with the function component, which is the app. Inside that we use the variable questions, because in the quiz we need questions, right? So we start with the variable questions, which will hold the question text and the answer option. So first and foremost, the question text. What's the capital of France? Now, this is my quiz. You can have any different questions. So this is a simple one. And then we also include the answer options in this variable, because it'll store both the answer options as well as the question text. So the answer text, then we need the answer text in the options, right? So this is, for example, if New York, I give some option which is an incorrect one, so I call the second parameter incorrect is false. So the first parameter is the string value, and the second parameter here is whether it's true or false. So obviously if it's a false answer, we write is correct false, and for the true answer we write is true, so that depending on the answer we can mark the answer as right or wrong. So here Paris is correct, obviously is correct is true. For Dublin, obviously is correct is false. So for the wrong answer, is correct will turn out to be, we will set it to false, and for the right answer we will set it to true. So this is the answer options, and then you have, I've already done the answer text, answer options, and the question. So again, there'll be like, you can format 3 to 4 or 10, 20, that's totally up to you. For the basic tutorial, I've just kind of framed 3 or 4 questions only to make it simple and easy, and this is just to understand the concept, so we don't need to go into so many questions. So the next question, like what's the capital of Austria, and then yeah, hey, you can also boost your general knowledge if you already don't know, just kidding. So answer text, Dubai obviously is correct, set to false, because Dubai is not the capital of Austria, right? Then we give another option of answer text as Manila, which is again set to false because it's not the capital of Austria. Then Vienna, yes, that's true, because Vienna is definitely and surely the capital, yeah, okay, of Austria, I mean. Berlin is of course incorrect. So we finished with the second question with the set of answer text and answer options, answer text inside the answer options, set to false, the incorrect one set to false, and the correct one set to true. So maybe give it 1 or 2 questions more, like what's the capital of Canada? Any guesses? Yeah. Okay, answer options again. So in the answer options, we write the answer text, the incorrect ones and the correct ones as done before. Yeah, what you could do is, to make it easy, you can just copy paste the string for different counts and then just change the values. Yeah, like instead of France, you can make it Canada, and the answer options also. That's totally up to you, but I prefer typing it separately because it's a good exercise. And remember, in coding, the more you type, the more you remember and learn. So I prefer it this way, but it's entirely up to you. Okay, so this part I'm going to, okay, almost finished. So as you can see, Ottawa is the correct answer, right? But you never know what the user is going to answer. This is like a quiz app which is presented to the user. The user will click on the right or wrong answer options. and then get scored accordingly. That's the idea of this quiz. Yeah. So, and then we will also tell them not only what is the score, but like what exactly is the score out of the total score. Yeah. Okay. So this part is done. So now you understood this. This part of the the app function. Okay. Done. Now, as I said earlier, you can add as many number of questions and answer options. That's totally up to you. Now, do not forget to render. In the beginning, it's a good idea because then you can check it every time. So React DOM.render, the first parameter is obviously the app because that is where you're going to render the app. And document.getElement by ID root is a second parameter. Yeah, this is a conventional code for rendering the React app, as you already know. Okay, now when we check it at this level, we just find the background color because the CSS I've already done and an empty string because we haven't yet started doing the whole project yet. Yeah. Once we proceed with it, we'll see some action on the resultant UI. Okay. Now, as you already know about the use state, which I explained in the last tutorial, but I'll again explain a bit here. So, what are we doing here? We are considering this variable current question. Yeah, so current question. So const, in this const variable we have the first parameter, which is a current question. Yeah, as usual for hooks you have that, and the second parameter is a set current question function that will update the value of the current question. Now how it is done? Using the useState, react.useState. Why do we set it to 0? That's the initial value. Yeah, initial value when no action has been done, we will set it to 0. So this will change when the action starts, when the user starts answering. Okay, now useState, as we know, as I already mentioned, yeah, we have imported the useState hook to let us keep local state in the function component, in this case the app. So const, again we make another variable. So the current question is for storing the questions, and the function set current question will change to the updated values. And the show score, what is it? The show score is for showing the user the score. That is the first variable where it will store the score values. And set show score is a function using the useState. What will it do? It will actually tell you whether set it to true or false. It will update the answer to true or false. But we again initialize the useState to false. Why? Because nobody has started presuming nobody has started answering the quiz yet. Okay, so that's the initial value. Then again you consider another variable, score, and the set score. So show score is for showing the score. Basically, and score variable is for storing the score. So show score is for the values that for after counting that will show the score. So score has the count of the score. Set score is the function that will update the value to the current value. And again you have the useState hook initialized to 0 because you are presuming you haven't started answering or using it. Then you have const handle answer option click. So now handle the answer question, because there are so many options, so you need basically a variable which will store all the options, and you will use the function isCorrect, the arrow function, in order to manipulate it when the user is using clicking on the options. Yeah, so we use the if else loop here. So in this arrow function, if is correct, that means if the answer is correct, or if is correct is true, whichever way you take it, in that case what should it do? Your app should do, it will set the score to score plus 1, meaning it will update. Set score is for updating the value, right? So it will update the value of the score to score plus 1 every time. It will increase by 1. Yeah. And the next variable we consider here, const next question. Now so here it is managing the next question because there are so many questions here. So we consider this next question variable to store all the questions coming up. So what is it going to do? That is going to be the current question plus 1, right? Because you cannot just keep asking one question. You have a current question here, and when that is updated by value of 1 every time, then the next question, that value will be stored in next question. So here again the loop, the if-else loop, if the next question is less than the question's length, that means question's length is, let's say in my case I have asked 3 questions, so questions dot length is 3. So if the next question is less than 3, let's say 2 only, yeah, so in that case what happens? So what should be the updated value? How do you update it? So then the function, the hook set current questions hook, what will it do? It will set it to the next. That means there are 3 questions, so 2 questions are already done, so it will again go next to the next question in that loop. Yeah, but however, if all the 3 questions are asked, now we consider that. So else. So I hope you are understanding here and watching here very carefully. So less than means, in this case less than 3 is, I remember, 1 or 3. If it is 1, it goes to the second question. If it is second, then it goes to the third question. Else, that means it's covered the total number of 3. In this case, question's length is 3. So that means it's already covered all the 3 questions. So how do you update it? So what React hook should you use? So you already have set show score variable, which we have defined and called earlier. So here it will set the set show score value to true. It will update the set show score to true value. Yeah. That means it will show the score. Remember, it will only show, the app will only show you the score once you finish answering questions.length. That means if there are 10 questions, then questions.length is 10. So when you answer all the 10 questions, then set show score will be set to true. That means then only, it means in English, it will, after covering and asking, or rather answering all the 10 questions only, the app will show you the score. So that is the meaning of set show score to true. Yeah. And then you must be wondering why we are using the square brackets. As I explained in a previous tutorial, the square brackets that we are using here is array destructuring, in which we have 2 variables, like here variable x and then second parameter set x. Yeah, where set x is a function to update the value of the x, like here. Okay, now when you're returning, so what is the above activities, the function returning? Okay, now after all this, it will be returning the container. We give it a class name of app because we want to know what is being shown in that container app. So here what is going to be shown in the UI? The show score. So we use the conditional statement. So show score, if it is true, if the show score, now remember it is written within curly braces because it's a special JSX. So show score, if it is true, then inside that the div class name we show the score section. Yeah, and you scored score. So within curly braces means actual score value it will show out of questions.length within curly braces, meaning the exact length of the question. Like here it will show 3. So that is covered inside that container. And if it is not showing the score, then what will it do? It will show you the div class name with a question section. Inside the question section, it will show you the the container with the class name of question count. Remember, when you're showing the question section, it has to show you not only the question but the question count, like question number 1, question number 2, etc. So here you have you're just writing the span for showing you the question and the question count. So here you have a span, current question. So the question within the braces, curly braces, the JSX special variable, we are showing current question plus 1. Span now divided by question length. This is not very necessary. So this means, like, if it is current question plus 1, let's say 3, so divided by questions 3/4. So that means the user will know that currently it's 3 out of 4 being shown. Not necessary. You can just do away with the questions.length. Then you have another class name with the question text. Here again, it is shown within curly braces. Wherever there is curly braces, the special function there, the special JSX value will actually show you the value of whatever is being shown. Like here, questions, current question. So whatever is the current question being shown, dot the answer option. So here what we are doing is, before it shows, it will go through this loop. The looping, that is the mapping, the map method. You loop using the map method. So current question dot answer options. We have the answer options of the current question. If you map, after you dot map means you're mapping it, and what you're mapping, you're also mapping the answer options, right? So many options are there. Then it's an arrow function. What is taking you there to the button on click? Now the on click arrow function, what is it serving? Handle the answer option click. So this on click will handle the answer option click, like which answer is correct and incorrect. So answer option dot is correct. It's handling that. So that button it will show. So now all your containers are finished. So you have done your question, the question text, you've handled the answer options, and then you've looped it to make it loop through all the questions and the answer options. And then a bit of CSS, which I'm not showing in detail because I've already done that for you. You can see that in the source code, because this is less about CSS and more about React. And I hope you understood the reason why we are using useState. useState inside the component, the app component, is always to update the state to the new state. That's why we always call the useState hook. So there's something wrong. That's why we cannot see the UI yet. Okay, that's about it. Okay, let me see, because something was wrong with my earlier code editor, so I had to change my code editor. It was really something gone wrong. It's not showing the new code. Even if I am correcting it, it's not showing it. So I had to change my entire code to another code editor to open a new file. Something wrong with the JSetter code. With the code editor, I mean. So I just transferred the entire thing to the CodePen code editor. I think it works here quite well. Then checking my CSS if something wrong. And here I'm just showing you, but I realized it was actually not the CSS. It was in the question text, which I'll show you later. I don't know if it's going to show here. I was asking the question as apostrophe, what's, the apostrophe. So just remember, I also realized when you are doing such code, it's better, especially in JSX, to avoid the apostrophes, because it will be taken as another part of code. Yes, it's working. What's the capital of Canada, Austria? All done. Okay, I just added a question of Harry Potter. You've scored 3 out of 4. Oh my God, quite good. So I'm able to do it. Yes, it was just a matter of typo mistake in the JSX, as I mentioned. So let me just see in the full page view. Okay, there you go. Okay, this is how the app looks like, yeah, in the UI. And I hope you understood the concept. If you still didn't understand, do let me know in the comments section. Or if you don't agree with me on any concept, or you want to add on your thoughts, do that. I have no issues on that.